Colin had a problem and a microphone to spare. Thomas took it up and so the podcast went to air. For weeks and months they trolled through every single DVD. They've unwrapped all the ones they can and now they're cellulose free. Now they're cellulose free.
Hello dear listener and welcome to Cellulose Free. My name is Colin and with me as always is my fellow film watcher, compadre and son, Thomas.
Hi, hello.
We've got a film to watch.
That...
What? What?
Just skip over the rest of the format, eh?
I thought you didn't have anything.
Oh.
You said earlier today that you had so much to do, which suggested that you hadn't done any of them, so you've got nothing to report. All right, what have you been up to?
Council had their last meeting of the term.
Huzzah!
And I was there, and I took notes, and I'm still writing the blog post about it. So it's not done yet. I want to do it, but it's hard to get me to do it.
Okay.
And isn't that just the way of things?
It really is. I put off procrastinating this morning.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
How'd that go?
You may also have noticed that even though I'd set up the recording devices and what have you, between having done that and us actually starting, there was a little bit of procrastination going on there too.
Right.
I think there are reasons for that. Oh, the 700 just shifted to 701.
Yeah.
Don't you hate that?
Yeah, it's less of a problem for me when there isn't a seconds field. If there's a seconds field, you absolutely must make sure that the numbers are each taking up the same space.
We currently have the Chromecast on screen and it has a clock in the bottom corner and they're not mono-spaced typeface, so the ones are a lot smaller than the zeros and so you get crunchification every time it changes time. Sorry.
And the bomb...
Yes,
wants
bomb.
to stop being called the bomb.
The bomb.
Said
yes.
the bomb on their website, bomb.gov.au.
Yes. I don't know whether they've mentioned on the bomb app that they don't want to be called the bomb.
The bomb app called Bomb Weather.
That's the one. It's the bomb.
Mm.
Are you going to clarify for our dear international listener?
The bomb, or BOM, is the Bureau of Meteorology, which is the government agency responsible for weather and the forecasting of weather.
That everyone calls the bomb.
And has for years.
For years. You'd occasionally have someone call it the Bureau, but everyone calls it the bomb. But suddenly, out of the blue, there's a press release.
Yeah, apparently they're doing some big rebranding effort, and they really want everyone to, in the first instance, call them the Bureau of Meteorology, and then, therefore, call them the Bureau.
Yes.
And that doesn't seem likely to happen.
No.
The ABC, for what it's worth, have covered the story, and have said that at the moment, it's looking like their style guide isn't going to change, because it reflects actual usage.
Dear. It's crazy.
It is,
Yeah.
and it cost over $200,000.
What, to put out that press release? Or their rebranding that hasn't
the
happened
rebranding as a whole.
But it hasn't happened yet, has it?
No, their YouTube channel
Right.
is using the new branding.
Oh.
With the new logo.
There is a new logo, right, okay.
Which is a sort of Australia, but with synoptic lines.
Excellent. That was a challenge for the graphic artist. And BOM written underneath it. Oh, sorry, no, you can't do that.
And the press release itself is using the new branding.
Oh. So I didn't even pick that up.
No,
No.
No, it's got new letterhead. But their media release website is still on the old branding.
Of course it is. Oh, dear.
They've bungled things a bit.
They have.
Especially with the timing. Did you know the north of this state is currently actively underwater?
Yeah, the least they could do is concentrate more fully on not sending quite so much rain everywhere.
And parts of Victoria and New South Wales. And that cat, if it doesn't stop eating while we're recording.
The Deranged Cat studio, which extends into the Deranged Cat's dining area. Yes. I was wondering what it was for a moment, but we do apologise for the kibble noises.
Well, I know one thing that you've been up to, but what have you been up to?
My body aches.
Mm-hmm.
I ache because I have just mown the lawn, which has suffered somewhat under the hands of the bomb, in that rain has fallen upon it on numerous occasions since I last mowed it, and the clover has just gone crazy.
It certainly has.
And the lawnmower just wasn't keen on chewing through it, particularly. So there are lots of stops and starts. And it is my fault, yes. I probably should have mown it a number of weeks ago, but I haven't. So sue me.
And that's just the frontage.
And yes, my body is telling me that I don't particularly enjoy mowing the lawn. I mean, that's not entirely true. If I've got a good podcast or three to listen to, and I did have some good podcasts to listen to, but the lawnmower is beginning to show its age a bit and is quite noisy, and even with headphones on over my in-ear buds, which is terribly uncomfortable, it was quite noisy.
Yeah.
Other than that, yes. We have a film to watch. Getting back to that important point that I raised earlier.
Oh, and all of us here have voted now. But
yes.
We won't know anything about that until Wednesday, at the earliest. Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
Yes.
Yes.
Not the Wednesday that we are recording on right now.
No. Next Wednesday. What day is it?
It's Wednesday.
Right.
But tomorrow when this goes out, it'll be Thursday.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And a week from now, the Wednesday on which we are recording is the earliest at which we'll know anything.
Yeah, so you may or may not find out some information next week, as I'm sure you're all riveted by Tasmania's local council elections, and more importantly, for the city of Clarence. I nearly said municipality again.
Well, all the people who've written in seem to be interested, so...
I'm interested in watching a film.
Yes, let's watch a film.
Actually, I think that is why I've been hesitating. In that this is the first film that we're going to watch that has been suggested by a dear listener in this podcast, I think. To the extent that I actually went out and ordered it and paid money for it to watch it. So I'm a bit worried that Into Osferatu did certainly build it up in my eyes as being the best Laker film. So, you know, it all hinges on whether we like it or not as to whether he continues listening. And I've never felt quite so much pressure since when we watched Anna and the Apocalypse, watching that and doing a podcast, and then a couple of days later getting a comment from the director on Twitter saying he was a bit upset that we didn't quite enjoy it as much as he'd hoped. And I got quite defensive.
On the internet? Well, that's a mistake.
No, not defensive as in we are right and you are wrong. It was more a case of, this is this guy's baby, and we've said his baby's got big ears, and so yes.
So Into Osferatu's continuing listenership of the remaining 10 episodes of this run of the podcast.
It hinges on whether we like this film or not.
Yeah.
What is this film we are watching?
This film is, from the makers of Coraline and Paranorman, The Boxtrolls.
We are watching the Boxtrolls.
That is the film that we are watching tonight.
Stop-motion animation. Yep. What's it about?
The Boxtrolls are monsters who live underneath the charming streets of Cheesebridge, who crawl out of the sewers at night to steal the town's children and find cheeses. At least, that's the legend the townspeople have always believed. In truth, the Boxtrolls are a community of lovable oddballs who are raising an abandoned human boy named Eggs as one of their own. When the Boxtrolls are targeted by a villainous exterminator who is bent on eradicating them, Eggs must venture above ground to save his unique family, where he teams with an adventurous young girl to save not only the Boxtrolls, but the soul of Cheesebridge.
So, it's all about a bunch of trolls who convert to Christianity. Because they find cheeses.
I'm not talking to you.
That's what we're watching. Thomas is going to take the disc out of its case.
Which, is already unwrapped.
Yeah, it was a second-hand copy.
I suspected as much.
Yeah. I was hedging my bets there into Osferatu. I did spend money, but not as much as a new copy. No, I was doing the right thing by the environment. It said that it was a good, clean copy. So I'm hoping there's no rude language in it. Okay, Thomas is going to open the case. He's going to take the disc out of the case. He's going to stick it in the machine. We are going to watch this film and then we'll come back and talk about it. So we shall catch you on the flip side.
Turn to side B. I've decided to start talking to you again.
Oh, good. Good. All right, you mongrel. So, what did you think?
It's fine.
Into Osferatu, you got a fine.
The whole thing felt just a little disjointed to me.
It seems to be a bit of a thing with Laker films, in that there are occasional moments of disjointedness and yet also levels of brilliance.
Yeah, I got the disjointedness fairly early on, and I was never able to quite shake it.
Okay. It definitely had the stop motion in all its glory, warts and all, there in front of you. I think they learnt a lesson, I guess, from Paranorman, and then forgot it again, I think, afterwards, in that slickness that gets to the point of why did they bother doing it in stop motion. I didn't get that feeling here. Every single frame, it had that solidity and weight of the fact that it was all handcrafted or maybe 3D printed, or but it really did feel as if the human element was well and truly in pulling the strings, which they make a very definite jab at near the end in their Laker way, which was quite a clever way of doing their trademark, I think. I like the characters.
Yeah.
And the interactions between the characters. Some of the design decisions I felt were a bit weird. Egg's face especially, I felt, I don't know, just a little off. In fact, I think it was that I'm holding the picture up. That featured quite prominently in all the advertisements of Egg, the boy, a still picture of him, and he just doesn't look quite right. If that... The other characters are understandably the way they are, and maybe the fact that the boy grew up with the Boxtrolls is why he turned out the way he did, but I think it's the eyes. I don't think the eyes quite work for me. It's just a weird thing, and seeing him in real life, in air quotes. That disappeared fairly well. I thought it was an admirable film, and I don't think that's hedging my bets in upsetting certain members of our audience. It still doesn't knock Kubo off my favourites list.
No.
But I did, even more so than in Kubo, appreciate the being quite obvious in its stop-motion method, which is possibly Kubo's biggest weakness, is that iteration of their work, they were really concentrating on polishing again, I think. I thought the world building in this was very smart, and you knew roughly where everything was and how things could be where they were. And the exaggeration of upwardness and downwardness and the hierarchy that involves was quite smart too. I liked it.
Yeah, I had a good time.
Yeah.
Just couldn't quite shake that feeling.
Yeah. One of the few notes that I've been through the other notes already, but one thing that the Boxtrolls reminded me of, and this is going to be a real test as to whether you can remember having this read to you or not. Do you remember Bottlesnakes and Gumballs?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good of you.
Read it myself a couple of times.
Yeah. The Boxtrolls actually reminded me a lot of the Gumballs, especially Tinking Gumble. And for all our international dear listeners, this is a book that's quite a favourite in our family, but it's got a very Australian feel to it. It is very much set in the Australian bush. I'll add a link in the show notes, and that has been animated itself to various degrees of success. I recall having that feeling of, this isn't the head image that I had of it, and so it's wrong. But I think I settled to it. But that's neither here nor there. Boxtrolls very much reminded me of the Gumballs for some bizarre reason. What else do you have in your notes?
I didn't take any notes.
You're a shocker.
No. The thing about disjointedness just sort of dominated my thoughts the whole way through.
Which is funny, because I think that's what I was already pre-dooming myself for with that kid's face. And I got over that quite quickly, I think, and so could rumble it. Whatever that means. Okay, I do have a question, though. Did you notice any female Boxtrolls?
No. Right.
That sort of raises the question of the whole life cycle, I guess, of the Boxtrolls that did sort of twig in my mind, and on a number of occasions that I guess distracted me on a number of occasions also, in that every time that they appeared in large masses, I was looking out for some differentiation of sexes, maybe, to account for their existence and continued existence.
No, they seem to all be adults of indeterminate gender.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, my mind determined a gender, and I slapped a male gender onto them as a general rule. Or even more than a general rule, in that did raise the question of all I could see was one gender. So maybe Boxtrolls reproduce by asexual reproduction. I don't know. If there's anybody out there who can answer that question. What is the life cycle of a Boxtroll? Anyway, do you have anything else you wish to?
Nope.
Okay, so just to settle into Osferatu's mind, I was satisfied by that. Thomas?
I found it adequate.
And Thomas found it adequate. I think that's all you can ask for.
Yeah.
Well, all right then. Well, let's move on then.
The following segment is probably really boring.
We've got nothing on Facebook.
No, we have quite a bit on Facebook.
No, there was nothing on Facebook. There were no comments whatsoever on Facebook. So anything on YouTube?
We start on Facebook,
Hi, Helen.
where Helen has left 10 comments.
Okay.
Yeah, 10 comments.
10.
Starting with, I protest. Bonus points to Dunkel. I'm not blaming Dunkel, of course.
Of course not.
No.
No, it wasn't Uncle's fault. No. In fact, when it comes down to it, I think it comes down to Helen's fault.
And then, having unfairly boosted Dunkel, you take away my other advantage by negating my familial knowledge of The Muppet Christmas Carol as the best Michael Caine movie ever. In lieu of that advantage,
Yes.
I shall crib from IMDb and suggest the following for on-the-shelf Michael Caine movies.
Right.
The Prestige. Yes.
Yes.
Inception.
Did I not say just one?
Inception, also yes.
Yes.
Possibly at least one of Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises. All three.
All of the above, yes.
Probably not Educating Rita.
No, and I have not seen Educating Rita.
And 2 left field wild guesses, The Ipcress File.
No.
And Noises Off.
No.
No, I have seen some productions of the play on which it is based.
Yes. Now, this all also reminds me that I failed to do something that I was planning to do during the week.
Really?
Yes. But we'll get to that.
Okay.
Yes.
4th comment, ITL NJB.
So, ITL NJB. That's correct.
That is correct.
That is correct. Ta-da. See?
There it is.
There it is.
It's over there.
It's over there. Good. Well done.
Comment number 5. I was surprised you didn't do a Michael Caine impersonation.
Yes, but then you'd expect to blow the bloody doors off.
And then she continues, I could go for some sort of record here, if I was competitive or that way inclined, but I'm not. Really? Oh, my comment about sort of misspelling jalapenos is because your corrected spelling was jalapenos.
Oh, yeah, well. I confess that I did a quick copy and paste at that stage whilst I was editing. I was wearing many hats at that stage, and I didn't copy and paste from a spot that had the accents. Sorry. My bad.
Meanwhile...
Thanks, Helen, for all of those many comments that I think we can amalgamate most of them into, like, three comments. I think that counts as 3 comments.
Meanwhile, over on YouTube...
Hi, Dunkel.
Dunkel has left 2 comments.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah, whole 2 comments.
Wow.
YouTube has recommended to me a video from a channel called Hi Hello, all one word, into caps.
Right.
Which is a conspicuously purple branded app that has nothing to do with movies and podcasting.
Wow, why did it do that?
I don't know.
No.
No idea.
I don't understand either.
My guess for Michael Caine
Yes.
is ITAJOB. I think you've switched your words around here, Dunkel.
Yes.
Your guess for the file name is ITAJOB, which is, as we have established, is incorrect.
Yeah.
And for Michael Caine, she guesses 8 films, including Interstellar.
And Michael Caine is indeed in Interstellar, and that is on the shelf. However, and this is where the problem lies, is that count cannot be established by using the app.
No, probably not.
Because the cast list on the app doesn't do a full cast list. So I meant to open up the full software on the PC, which I believe does grab an entire cast list.
I am seeing...
It was actually Interstellar that made me realise that was the problem.
I seem to have pulled the full cast list
Maybe you
somehow.
did. Okay.
I'm counting 17 items, I should say.
Uh-huh.
Let's see, are these all films? I think these are all films. Is that a film? Yeah, that's a film.
Oh, that's a film.
I am seeing 17.
Okay, because I think my cast list only does the top 10. And depending on the movie, it orders, yes, it orders the billing. And in Interstellar, he was below the top 10 list.
I'm seeing number 14.
Good. Oh, good. Well, there we go. I don't have to fret about that. So, 17 films with Michael Caine in them.
Which is rather more than 8. But you were the only one to send in a guess for a number of films.
That's right, and your guess is the closest. And you didn't go over, so...
So you get to come up and play a pricing game.
You do. Come on down!
No, she's already come on down.
Oh.
That's how she got to contestants row?
I don't know. But the game that Dunkel is going to be playing is the Yodeling Mountain Climber.
Which apparently has a very simple strategy that no one uses.
Good.
In Cliffhangers, you see 3 items.
Right.
One item that costs a certain amount,
Yeah.
another item that costs a bit more, and another item that costs a bit more. And you can just say 3 specific values, and you're probably going to win.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
Good.
I can't remember exactly what the values are, but I think
Right.
it might be 20, 30, 40.
Right. Good.
And then you don't go over or under enough in order to go over. as the Yodeling guy does.
Yes. We digress.
We do digress.
Okay.
Over on Discord, I completely forgot to actually send this over to you.
Yes,
on
I'm sure you
Messenger.
did. Hi, Entu Ostratu.
I did intend to.
Uh-huh.
I absolutely intended to,
good.
but it's
Well, my reactions will be very genuine then.
I'm sure. Apparently, we've got a new Cellulose-free theme song. When they
Right.
talk, it's like a samba that swings so cool and sways so gently, but when we listen, each one that listens goes, ah.
Oh, bravo. Well done.
E of Pie chimes
Hi, E
in
of Pie.
to say, I saw the newer anyway, Italian Job with my dad in theatres as a kid. I really enjoyed it, and I still really enjoyed it on rewatch a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw the original years later, about the same time as my rewatch, boy, it drags. I am shocked it's only 90 minutes. It feels like 22 hours or so in my recollection, while the remake in my recollection makes me want to watch it again.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Well, just as an aside to that, the 16-year-old requested to watch the remake for our movie night the Friday following our recording of that. And yes, he was satisfied by it. I think he enjoyed it more than the original too.
I also ended up watching the remake separately from that, like almost immediately after you'd finished watching. But,
right. Yep.
Yeah. No, I think it's the better film.
Yeah. Certainly for a modern audience.
And then, one of the mods over on the Loading Ready Run Discord,
Hi, Mod from the Loading Ready Run Discord.
who I don't know if listens to the podcast,
Right.
but conversations in public places being what they are, people chime in.
They do.
The 2000s one is a good, fast-paced mid-thousands action movie.
Yeah.
The 69 is the same, but for its own time, it's kind of fascinating.
Yeah, yeah.
Having not seen it in a hot minute, I remember 3 things from the 2000s. 1, everyone wanted a Mini Cooper for a bit. 2, Edward Norton is great, though he can be very, very controlling of projects he's in.
Including this one.
Mm.
The story is that he was very reluctant to participate in this, and therefore was very, very unpleasant to most people around him. But he was contractually obligated.
He had signed a 3-film deal with Paramount.
And kept on saying no to everything they threw
after
at him.
1 film.
Yes.
And eventually they sat him down and they were like, no.
You signed a contract. I said, okay, I'll do the Italian job, but I won't enjoy it.
And he didn't, and he made sure everyone knew it.
Yes. Yes.
3, there is a weird, obvious Pepsi Blue ad, somewhere in the film, I'm assuming, that even me as a young teen noticed.
Right.
I didn't notice a weird Pepsi Blue ad.
I don't remember that either.
I wasn't really looking out for it.
No.
And that...
There was some good feedback there.
Is that definitely it?
You've checked out TikTok?
Lexi, on a different server entirely.
Hi, Lexi.
Don't know if she listens to the podcast. I think earlier when she sent in that list of AI-generated marketing text, I still don't know if she was listening to it then. Tell me, I need to know. You know where to find me. I can't wait for you to talk about the other famous Italian job. Plumbing? Doctoring? Saving princesses? If you're talking about Mario, unfortunately, the Mario movie will come out after we have wrapped.
Oh, are we going to have a special...
Look,
we'll get the band back together.
if you want, half an hour...
Mario!
But he's not going to sound like that, is he?
Which is just crazy.
If you just want half an hour of me complaining about Chris Pratt doing Chris Pratt as Mario, then fine, I'll come and record that. No,
Hey, we could record it while playing Mario Kart, which I played for the first time in absolute... Well, I haven't played the Switch version at all, but I played it the other night against 3 of my children and did incredibly well. Not.
The big problem, really, isn't even Chris Pratt.
No.
Although he could have put more effort in.
No.
It's
the
celebrities as voice actors.
It's the fact that they've given Mario Sonic the Hedgehog's original latest movie eyes.
No, it's celebrities as voice actors.
Yes. That too. Occasionally
it can work. Mark Hamill has been doing
the
voice
Joker
acting
and
for
a whole heap of other things.
All manner of things. At one point, he was playing several characters fighting each other in a DC-related animation, which was amusing.
Mm.
And I've only seen that portion of that episode. But...
Yes, he is very good as a voice actor. And actually, speaking of voice actors, the big surprise in this was Ben Kingsley.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't sound like him at all. Usually Ben Kingsley is Ben Kingsley, even when he's doing a New Zealand accent very badly.
I think I still picked up on a bit of Ben Kingsley in his Snatcher voice.
Right.
When he does Madame Frou Frou, couldn't even tell.
Well, see, the only reason I knew it was Ben Kingsley was that I had to look because I thought it was Michael Gambon.
Right.
So that's how not sounding like Ben Kingsley he was for me.
Yeah, some range on Ben Kingsley. That I didn't know he had.
No. Well, I still haven't forgiven him for his New Zealand accent in Ender's Game. It was really bad. Anyway. So that's it for...
Yes, that is it for this untitled segment.
A myriad of input from people lurking in the corners of boxes. And thank you for all that, whether you listen or not.
This segment brought to you by Discord. Imagine a place.
Okay.
Are you imagining a Discord server? They want you to imagine a Discord server when you're imagining a place.
Right, okay. No.
No.
I still don't fully understand Discord, so...
Think IRC, but it
yes.
it stays. But also it moves quickly, so it's ephemeral anyway.
So we have nothing else for our Untitled segment, so we're going to move on.
We are going to move on.
Pick a film for next week so we can go to bed.
And it's your turn.
It is my turn.
Ooh.
And next week is the last episode before All Hallows Eve.
So we're going to be watching The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari.
And I said on an earlier podcast that there was a concept that I wanted to revisit at some point.
Uh-huh.
This would have been on our episode on Palm Springs.
Uh-huh.
And we're going to take things in a very different direction than I think this podcast has ever gone.
Oh.
Because this is a slasher film.
Right. Okay.
And also a time loop film.
Right. Is it on the shelf?
It's not on the shelf.
My goodness.
This is the other streaming pick that I had on my list.
Wow.
This film is from 2017.
Uh-huh.
And I frankly doubt you've ever heard of it. Which is why I'm just going to out and say it.
Okay.
This film is called Happy Death Day.
Oh, yes. I have heard of it as a name, but that is it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're watching a slasher film.
We are.
With a time loop twist to it.
It's
right.
also a black comedy.
Country of origin?
The US of A. A Blumhouse production.
Right, okay. Fair enough. That explains a lot. Please, would you tell our dear listener what I'm going to have to suffer through next week?
College student Teresa Gelbman continues to relive the day when she was killed to discover the identity of her murderer. Also, it's her birthday.
Oh, that's right. You're reading from a streaming service that...
I'm reading from Google's knowledge graph.
Oh, right. Okay.
Which has one sentence.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
It did not include also it's her birthday, but I feel like that should be obvious from Happy Death Day.
Yes. Right. That is what we are watching next week. You have watched it?
I have watched it.
Yeah, I suspected you would not suggest such a movie unless you had watched it prior. But that's what we're watching next week.
It is. Happy
Death Day. We hope that you can join us. What? What? I don't know what your problem is.
Continue. Carry on. Ignore me.
It's so easy.
Just dying over here.
Happy Death Day.
Oh, thank you.
But until then, we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
You have been listening to Cellulose Free. Your hosts were Colin, who produces and edits the show, and Thomas, who makes the artwork and music. Cellulose Free is recorded in the Deranged Cat Studios in scenic Tasmania, Australia. We keep track of our extensive physical media collection through My Movies, which we highly recommend. You can find links to that, as well as other places you can find us in the show notes. Cellulose Free is a Hi Hello production.
Please, would you tell our dear listener what I'm going to have to suffer through next week?
College student Teresa Gelbman. That's a name. Continues to relive the day when she was killed to discover the identity.
Teeth on tongue. That doesn't help.
That word doesn't have a t sound in it. It has a t.
I'm sorry, you read that
There is
again.
no tongue involved. I'm going to start from the top of the sentence.
Okay.
College student Teresa.
Theresa.
Either way, it has that sound in it.
Or not.
College student Theresa.
It's Teresa.
Not Teresa.
It is Teresa.
Teresa.
Yeah, I was being evilly nasty.